Good afternoon. My name is Darryl Rattcliff, and I'm so excited to be before you this afternoon. We have an idea that's going to be transformational for the city of Dallas, and I'm a member of the Cultural City, which was a committee made up from the Festival of Ideas, and we were really tasked with this idea of coming up with a big transformational idea for the city of Dallas. And so we're thinking, what in culture, where's the need? And so we started looking out of the city, and we realized that when we think about culture in Dallas, we think about a few areas. We think about the Arts District. We might think about Deep Ellum, the Design District, maybe Bishop Arts. But really, our expression and our conversation about culture is really limited to just a few places. But there's a whole entire city where there are artists and creatives and people who express themselves every single day. So we really saw a need of how do we connect with those neighborhoods, with those people, with all communities in the city of Dallas. So we came up with the Dallas Mobile Cultural Center. And so we're really trying to create cultural centers in neighborhoods that don't have immediate access to cultural facilities. We really want to bridge these gaps in the various cultural deserts in the city, because we know that culture is for everyone, arts is for everyone, and that there's all sorts of talent in the city. And there's people who are incredibly creative who might not even necessarily think of themselves as artists, but they really are, and the intention and the care that they bring to their everyday lives and what they do. So we really want this to be a catalyst, and we really want this to be a neighborhood program, something that is bottom up and really working with some of the people and talent that's on the ground. So this is a diagram of our proposed cultural center. So as you can see, it's very flexible. This is it in a green space. It can be in a park. It can be in a shopping center. It can be by a library. And so you see it, just a normal space, probably something that people would walk by every single day. But when activated, it becomes a community space. This is in a performance mode, so you could have dance, you could have music. We really want it to be flexible. You could have art galleries, you could have workshops take place in it, and really creates a hub in the community where there might not have been one. So we're looking at some potential sites for the Mobile Cultural Center. And so we looked at Vickery Meadow, which is in the northeast of Dallas. And for those who don't know, that's a huge immigrant and refugee population that's there. And there's already some work on the ground initiated by the Nasher and Translation Vickery Meadow. So we thought that that could be a great potential site. We looked out at Pleasant Grove. There's some great team programming going on in the library, and that would be a great partner and a place for a mobile cultural center. Then we looked right here at Paul Quinn and all the great talent that's happening here, and we thought that this would be a great location for the mobile cultural center. Then we went a little further south to the Redbird Southwest Center Mall area and all the excitement that's around there, and we thought that that might be another great location for the cultural center. And then to the southwest around Mountain View College and some of the great anchor schools that are there, and we thought that that could also be a great site for the cultural center. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to start off with an artist in residence, and that person's job is really to work with the community. Their job is to identify what resources and talents already exist there, and then working in collaboration with the community and other arts organizations throughout the city, coming out with a 4-day workshop schedule. So we envision the center will be open from Thursday to Sunday inside the community, and then it will move to a different site every 6 months. So our budget is $20,000, $5,000 for programming, $4,000 for the artist residency, $2,000 for materials, $2,000 for administration, $1,000 for space rental, and $1,000 in contingency. To date, we have many great partners. We have Anita Martinez Ballet Folklorico, Art Conspiracy, Ash Studios, Bishop Arts Theater, Creative Arts Centers, Dallas Museum of Art, Make Art with Purpose, Office of Cultural Affairs, Olin Cotton, the McKinney Art Avenue Contemporary, and UTD Central Track. And we hope to have many, many more, but those are committed. So our timeline, in the first couple of months, we're going to be building out the container in space, meeting with community partners, establishing the artists in residence, and purchasing the materials and supplies. And then next, we'll operate it. We'll learn from the programming, make it better, doing weekly meetings with staff, with community members, making sure that our outreach and our impact is being successful. And then we're going to go to another location, and we'll continue the process, and then we'll start fundraising and get ready for our third location. So this is such an important idea as we wrestle with how do we bring our city together, as we wrestle with how do we really, what leads in this effort, and we really believe that culture does lead, that culture is what's necessary to highlight what already exists and to show that it's valuable and that we value our entire city and all the neighborhoods. This is our big idea. Thank you.
Darryl, thank you. A fantastic presentation.
Thank you.
So 2 quick questions. One is, who's on the core team, right? Or who would form kind of the core team, working with all those community partners and everyone that's kind of required to kind of get this to scale?
Okay, great.
Yep.
So we're really fortunate to have an experienced project manager with this type of project over 20 years, who's right over here, Janelle Ingolstead, with Make Art with Purpose. And then also our core team of Erica and Jinya and all the different organizations. Like we're all going to work together, and we all have that experience.
Great. And then my second question is, how do you see this scaling, if at all, right? If all of a sudden you get a lot of demand from different, micro communities in the Dallas area that would love to have one of these, could you do multiple at once?
We could. With the resources, we definitely could. That's the beautiful thing about this project, is that it is a scalable model. You're able to tap other artists to be artists in residences, and you're able to build additional cultural centers.
So my question is, I saw in your budget that your budget was $20,000, which is what you could win here. That doesn't presume any fundraising, and it looked a little aggressive to me to think that you could do everything you were talking about doing for just $20,000. But I haven't looked at all the numbers. How hard have you scrubbed it, and have you thought about fundraising on top of this?
Absolutely. So one thing, all of us are artists, and so we are really used to making something out of very little. That's part of our practice. So it might not have the corporate numbers, but it is very doable. And then all of us have deep resources and experience with fundraising. And if a need arises, we can do that. And we have great relationships with our partner institutions. And hopefully they will lean and see this as a value as well.
So I loved the fact that you have a very short time frame to get things moving, to create some action from this plan. And so my question for you is, what's the biggest... let's get this thing off the ground time frame? What's your biggest barrier?
I would say the biggest barrier is, having the resources to do so, because we have the plan, we have the commitment, we know the people, we've identified some great neighborhoods, and so as soon as we have that commitment, we can go and we can make this happen for the city of Dallas.